It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Shawna is the non-stop shopper turned persistent declutterer behind Practically Minimal. After too many years of overbuying and battling with overstuffed closets, Shawna began to wonder if less actually may be more. She started exploring minimalism after about 6 years ago, and hasn't looked back. Today, through her blog, virtual decluttering parties, and clutter-clearing programs, Shawna helps people clean up and simplify their homes, offices, and digital spaces, so that they can focus on what makes them more happy and successful. So today we're going to chat with Shawna, and she's going to talk a little bit about how we are going to clear up and declutter our space, and also about her own self-care and self-confidence. All right. Shawna, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Let's talk about your business, Practically Minimal. What exactly is your business? Like, what exactly do you do?
Well, that's a good question. It actually started as a blog. So I started about 2.5 years ago after introducing minimalism, or what I call a minimal-ish kind of a lifestyle into my own life. So it was so game-changing for me that I wanted to tell the whole world about it. So that's how I ended up starting the blog, Practically Minimal. About a year after that, I started offering actual services. So basically, I help women clean up and simplify their homes or their workspaces, even their digital spaces, through online programs and virtual decluttering parties. So basically, then you get rid of all the clutter, then you have more time and energy to focus on the things that actually make you happy or make you successful.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. I need help with every area. I'm not really a clutter bug, but I have stuff that I know I need to go through. I am cluttered on my laptop, my iPad. I have stuff everywhere and I don't know even where to start. So yeah, we're going to be talking outside of this for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. What are you celebrating this week?
This week, I'm actually putting the finishing touches on a brand new service that I'm going to be offering. So that'll be available and launching around the end of the month. But basically, it's a new way to help people who are, like you were kind of saying, like getting a bit frustrated by a mess. Maybe there's some disorganization happening in specific areas of their home or of their office, like a laptop. So this program, it's kind of more of an intensive kind of a look at that. So we'll, kind of clear up the clutter and then find some simple ways to help sort of maintain the space as a more functional kind of a space.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And how do you celebrate you and your wins? Like once this is done and you have it launched, how will you celebrate?
That's a good question. It could be as simple as like a really good glass of wine. Like I'll do that for sure. That'll be happening. But maybe like a day trip into the mountains. I'm in Edson, Alberta. So I'm less than 2 hours from Jasper. So, I love to do like a quick trip to Jasper, maybe do some, like this time of year, probably maybe some biking, something like that. If it's a little warmer, maybe kayaking or skiing in the winter. So I tend to kind of do things like that, just get out of my everyday life and just kind of have a change of scenery.
And getting out in nature is always so mind clearing and grounding for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even if it's just a walk, really, right?
Yeah. That's my new habit. I go for a morning walk because I hate being outside. And I can't believe how awesome I feel when I get back in, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, why haven't you done this in all your years? But I don't like being outside, but going for a walk first thing in the morning, and anytime after that, I find it a little bit too warm, right? My body gets too hot, and but first thing in the morning is perfect. Would you rather be able to express yourself accurately or just say the exact truth?
I would say express myself accurately. I think that's really difficult because sometimes I think what you say isn't always what people hear. And there's a lot of, I think, layers that come with that. Our own perceptions are shaped by our own experiences and things like that. So if I could kind of get things out more accurately with what I mean, then I think that would, it'd probably save a few problems.
Probably. And it's also a lot more authentic for you, right? Because your truth is not necessarily my truth.
Well, yeah, exactly. What is the truth really? It's
right.
different for different people. So
exactly. Absolutely. 100%. And your fashion, we're going to talk a little bit about fashion because that's my thing.
Sure. Yeah.
What do you think your fashion style says about you?
You know what? It's changed a lot in the last few years. For one reason is I used to work in more of a corporate environment. Now I work from home. So like that, direct kind of a lifestyle change, but also going through into this more minimal type of lifestyle. It has really, made me stop and reflect, what is actually, like you were saying, like what's actually true to me and what is my style. So, it's something that I've really dug into. Clothes were my number one weakness, I guess you could say. I started off with, an overstuffed closet. I loved buying clothes. I love fashion. So I've really pared it down. But to answer your question in a long-winded way, I would say that it's really more casual now, casual, functional, active. But I also like to, be well put together. And I like a little bit of an edge too. So I wear like a lot of black pieces. Also, I love a little bit of like leather or faux leather as well here and there. So I like to, kind of put that spin on it too.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So do you think, like, does it matter to you what your fashion style says about you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you come across as very self-confident and your self-esteem is great. Do you think that your fashion style says that about you, or do you think it's just you and your mannerisms?
Well, that's a good question. I think it does now. I don't think it used to. I think, and a lot of, kind of going through the process of minimizing, I realized that the reason I was kind of overbuying clothes was really a self-confidence kind of an issue, right? Like I would, buy something that was like maybe really trendy or maybe really expensive to kind of make myself, be portrayed in a certain way. Whereas now I've kind of peeled all of that back. So now I feel like it does, because it's like it's true to me now. I feel confident in everything that I'm wearing. And then I'm not pulling at things, or I know that everything fits right. So that when I, can, with presenting to a group of people or working with a client or something like that, I'm not worried about, something that I'm not used to wearing or that I'm not sure if it looks good. So I think I don't know that it really gives me the confidence, but it just helps me be confident without worrying about that extra piece, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally. It totally makes sense. And also too, I mean, we're still living the COVID world, right? Mm-hmm. And so we are only dressing for the most part, waist up, right? And so we need to be comfortable because we are sitting for a good part of the day, especially to work, right? When you work in an office environment, I think it's easier to get up and move around, right? Yeah. So you can do the adjustments, but when even at home, you can move around, but I like to think that everyone's at home working with their nose to the grind so they can be done, and then just be comfortable for that time, but also professional. right?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure. For sure. Do you have a self-care practice?
Well, I do and I don't. I mean, I guess it's I've been asked this before, and I'm like, I don't know if this is what you mean by self-care, but on a daily basis, I do like to just kind of like set myself up for the day. Like you were saying, you go for a walk and it makes you feel like amazing in the morning. For me, I do like at least a 15-minute meditation, usually a guided one, just to sort of like be focusing in on the moment, even if it's only for 15 minutes in the morning, if I don't get to do that again. And then I always I move as well. So I'll either do a workout or go for a walk as well, just to kind of get, more of a mood lifter, really. So for me, like that's really important. If I skip a day or two, I really notice it in my mood and my mental state. So it really keeps me, kind of higher vibe.
Well, and that's what self-care is, right? It's keeping you in the moment, right? And everyone is going to look at that differently. So yeah, that is totally a self-care practice.
Okay.
And that's a daily one. And lots of us have we have our daily keep us in the moment self-care practices. But then we also have, that, once a month or once every 3 months ritual where we need to go out and, spend a day in nature, or I like to spend a day in the mall. That's my self-care. Mm-hmm. Right? I'll go to the mall and I'll just hang out there for the day, right? I'll have breakfast at home and then I'll be home for supper, and don't talk to me in between, right? And so do you have something like that?
Well, that used to be me, I'll tell you that. I used to spend a lot of time at the mall, but for me, it wasn't really self-care. It was more like escaping and that kind of thing. But I don't know that I have it like as sort of like anything regimented, but if I really feel like I need to, maybe I'll book a pedicure or massage or something like that. Or like take a few hours and head out with like the bikes or the kayaks. I love to ski as well. So if I can head out for a day of skiing or something in the winter.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And I'll do that.
That's perfect. That is really perfect, right? Because your body knows, you know when you're tired and you've had enough. Yeah, for sure. I'm interested to know your new package at the end of the month. Like, I'm really excited to see when that comes out. I know you've been teasing us on Instagram.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I need to know what this is. I have one more question for you, and it's not about our businesses, or it's just a question. Okay. What would be the best thing about not having a sense of smell?
Oh, well, obviously you wouldn't have to smell anything bad, so
you're right.
That would be good, right?
What would be the worst smell? I was when I asked this question, I always think, what would be the worst smell? I hate the smell of garbages and like empty, like dirty diapers.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's awful. Yeah, you could change diapers and it wouldn't even be a thing. Although in my family, my youngest niece is whose diapers I would change is 5, so that's done. So I don't have to worry about that too much anymore.
No, but you would definitely not know when she needed it, right? Unless
that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's why I like this question, right? Because there's good and bad. And what about perfume? And we can't stop and smell the roses. We can only stop and stare at them, right?
Yeah. It's there's some polarity with this question for sure.
Yeah, exactly, right. Well, I think all questions are like that, right? It could be, either way. Anyway, just let us know. I know that I'm going to post your social media on the show notes, but just let us know where we can find you.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, Instagram is a good place. It's at Practically Minimal is my Instagram handle. I'm on Facebook as well as Practically Minimal. And then there's my website, which is practicallyminimal.com.
Perfect. Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. And we'll chat again sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks, Tina. That was fun.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.